Imagine a world where the Korean peninsula is no longer divided, where families torn apart for over 70 years finally embrace, where a high-speed train could take you from Seoul to Pyongyang in just a few hours, and where the DMZ, once the most heavily militarized border on Earth, becomes a symbol of history rather than hostility. Sounds like a dream?
It does for sure. Get rid of your pink glasses, huh?
Maybe, but so did Germany's reunification in 1990, until it happened. And here is the shocking part. When East and West Germany reunited, the economic cost was over $2 trillion, a staggering price tag. Now imagine applying that to Korea, where the GDP gap between North and South isn't just large, it's astronomical. South Korea's economy is over 50 times bigger than North Korea's, making any reunification effort one of the most ambitious undertakings in modern history. But here is the real question. Is reunification even possible, or is it just wishful thinking? Because while many dream of a united Korea, the road to making it a reality is paved with challenges that could make or break the region's future. Watch till then to find out the percentage chance that Korea will be united in the next couple of decades. Guys, before we explore the consequences and reality of this, please hit a like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. So let's begin. A united Korea wouldn't be just a historical moment, it could be an economic powerhouse. Analysts predict that by 2050, a reunified Korea could boast a GDP exceeding $6 trillion, putting it among the world's top economies. How? By merging South Korea's high-tech industries with North Korea's untapped resources and labor force. Imagine a country with both Samsung and rare earth minerals, both Hyundai and vast underutilized farmlands. The potential is staggering. Beyond economies, reunification would reshape global strategy. Right now, South Korea has cutting-edge technology, but depends on imports for many raw materials. North Korea, on the other hand, has vast coal, iron and rare earth deposits, but lacks the means to refine and utilize them effectively. A unified Korea could integrate these strengths, becoming an independent industrial and technological giant, reducing reliance on outside powers. And then there is the cultural revival, a reconnection of a shared 5,000-year history that was fractured in 1953. Language, traditions and family ties could be restored, leading to a national rebirth similar to Germany's post-reunification revival. Millions of people who have never even spoken to their distant relatives could finally reconnect. But perhaps the most immediate benefit is the end of one of the longest-standing military tensions in modern history. With over 1.3 million active North Korean troops and South Korea spending billions annually on defense, reunification could redirect these resources toward economic growth and infrastructure instead of military standoffs. The DMZ, a symbol of division, could transform into a corridor of opportunity. Of course, while these benefits are massive, the road to reunification isn't so simple. And the challenges? They might just outweigh the rewards. Could a unified Korea really become an economic powerhouse, or will the challenges prove too great? Share your thoughts in the comments. Reunification sounds like a dream, but the reality? It comes with a massive price tag. Estimates put the cost between $65 billion and $3 trillion, depending on how fast the economies integrate. Look at Germany. Despite its wealth, it spent over $2 trillion on reunification. And economic gaps still remain. For Korea, the challenge is even bigger. North Korea's GDP per capita is less than 2% of South Korea's, meaning decades of underdevelopment need urgent fixing. Then comes politics. How do you merge a high-tech democracy with an authoritarian regime? Would North Koreans suddenly vote? Would former regime officials be punished or pardoned? Pardon? Only a crazy one could believe in it. I'm not. Sudden political shifts often lead to instability or even a power vacuum. North Korea isn't just another developing country, it's a nuclear-armed state. A misstep could turn reunification from an economic challenge into a geopolitical crisis. Finally, there is a deep social divide. Decades of isolation and propaganda have shaped two completely different mindsets. So, South Koreans would need to accept higher taxes to support the North, while North Koreans would have to adapt to capitalism and democracy. Reunification isn't impossible, but it won't be a fairy tale ending. The challenges are enormous, and the consequences, they could reshape Korea and the world forever. China faces a serious dilemma. While it values regional stability, North Korea serves as a vital buffer against US influence in Asia. A unified Korea, likely aligned with Washington, could put US troops directly on China's border. A nightmare scenario for Beijing. This is why China has historically propped up North Korea with economic aid and political backing. Losing this buffer could drastically shift the power balance in East Asia, forcing China to rethink its military and diplomatic strategies. Japan isn't just celebrating the idea either. Historical tensions will run deep, and the disputes over the Dokdo-Takeshima Islands remain unresolved. Reunified Korea could become a stronger economic competitor and might even demand additional war reparations from Japan, reigniting all hostilities. Given Japan's military resurgence and growing defense budget, a unified Korea could create an entirely new power dynamic in the region. Then there is the US and Russia. The US would view reunification as a strategic win, strengthening its influence in Asia with a powerful democratic ally. Russia, on the other hand, would lose a key partner on its eastern flank. North Korea has provided Moscow with military cooperation and a counterweight to US influence. A unified Korea could undermine Russia's geopolitical standing in the Pacific and shift military alliances. But what do South Koreans think? Surprisingly, many young people are skeptical. A 2024 survey found that only 37% of South Koreans supported reunification, largely due to economic concerns. Unlike other generations who see it as a historic mission, younger South Koreans fear the financial burden and social challenges. To them, reunification isn't a necessity. It's an uncertainty. The world sees a united Korea as a potential game changer, but within Korea itself, the debate is far from settled. The road to reunification isn't an all-or-nothing choice. It could take decades of gradual steps. One possible path: economic integration, similar to the early 2000s Sunshine Policy. South Korea could invest in the North's economy, slowly narrowing the wealth gap. Industrial zones like the Kaesong Industrial Complex, where South Korean companies once hired North Korean workers, could return, creating a foundation for future cooperation. Another option is technocratic collaboration. Instead of immediate political unification, both Koreas could establish joint commissions on infrastructure, transportation, and energy, working together where it benefits both sides while keeping governance separate. Some even propose a confederal model, one nation, two systems, similar to Hong Kong's setup with China. North Korea could keep its government but open up its economy, preventing sudden instability. But would Pyongyang ever accept South Korean influence without a fight? Or perhaps reunification won't happen at all? With less than half of young South Koreans supporting the idea and the North's leadership showing no signs of compromise, the dream of a united Korea may be fading into history. Reunification could bring economic strength, cultural revival and peace, but the costs are staggering and the geopolitical stakes are immense. From North Korea's nuclear arsenal to the deep social divide, the road ahead is anything but simple. Some believe gradual integration is the key, while others argue that the dream of reunification is fading with each passing generation. As I promised, according to our research that includes socio-economic and geopolitical factors, the percentage chance of Korean reunification in the coming decades is less than 5%. So what do you think? Is a united Korea inevitable, or will the divide persist for decades to come? Drop a comment below with your thoughts. Also, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our new videos. Catch you in the next one.